Hey everybody, welcome in. It's another episode of Landmark Live. Here we are. This is a production of the Platte County Landmark newspaper. I'm Ivan Foley. This is my co-pilot, Brad Carl.
Look, dressed same colors again, as usual.
Well, you got your sweatpants on tonight.
I figured I was looking like a coach, like an assistant coach.
You might be a volunteer coach by the time the night is over.
Never know.
Special episode coming up tonight with high school football being all the rage right now here in Platte County. We've got Platte County Pirate head coach Bill Oots to come on in just a minute. But right now, Brad, tell us about some of the sponsors of tonight's episode, if you would, please, because we have so many. We got to start these commercial reads early. Everybody wanted to jump in and sponsor the coach's appearance.
Well, one of our sponsors tonight is Wells Bank.
We've been there, remember that?
Yes, we have been there. That was a great time, fantastic time. When are we going to go back?
That was like a 5-star hotel, so I'm surprised they let you and I in, actually.
Yeah, it was right. Remember how we didn't know how we were going to dress, we did not communicate, and one of us came in jeans and one of us came in dress pants?
No, I think you were in shorts, actually.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't remember.
But anyway, Wells Bank has joined the list of sponsors tonight. Brad, tell us all about it.
Yes, are you looking for a bank that rewards you? Wells Bank has accounts that fit your needs. Wells Bank offers accounts that have no minimum balance requirement and e-statements for convenience. As a Wells Bank customer, you will enjoy a free debit card, online and mobile banking, and bill pay. If eligible, Wells Bank will even reward you with cash back for using your debit card. You can't beat that, by the way. Wells Bank will help make your switch simple and easy, much like our products and services. Visit Wells Bank, located at 1100 Branch Street today. Like Ivan said, 5-star hotel, Wells Bank, member FDIC.
Yes, thank you, Wells Bank.
Thank you.
What have you been doing this week, Brad?
I'm waiting for this huge snowstorm that we're having right now.
Did you get a little bit? Did
Yeah,
you drive through it to get
Yeah, I
here,
drove
right?
through it. It felt kind of weird, really, really dark outside with snow coming down. And for a moment there, I thought I'd spaced off and like drove past Platte City because it was just so like, I don't know, magnetizing, just kind of driving through.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's not going to get bad. You know, look, our friend Mike Thompson's excited right now because it's snowing. Yeah, but it's not going to be
What
bad.
about Katie Horner? I bet she's really excited.
She's always excited. You know.
That's another show that we'll
Yeah.
do later in the winter months.
Yes.
You know, we should get one of the weather guys on to talk about the snow coverage.
We should do that sometime. The problem is they're not going to come on. Well, not during snow coverage.
Oh no, not during. I mean, they wouldn't do that. I mean, they got work to do.
No, because remember when we went to see Mike Thompson, there was that caveat. As long as there's no thunderstorms or storms coming through.
And there also was a caveat, Mike doesn't know how to run the internet at his place of business, which we learned.
Right.
So we had to take the show outside so we could operate off the cell tower.
Yes, that's true.
He did not know the Wi-Fi password even.
But you know, and if he wasn't so cool.
Yeah, we like Mike.
Right, exactly. But
you can tell he's not a Wi-Fi kind of guy.
He's not. He's a weather guy, not a Wi-Fi guy. That's true. And what does Wi-Fi stand for?
Oh, I don't know. It's a long list.
You put it in your.
It's a long list of letters and symbols.
No.
A lot of verbs and adjectives.
I learned though in your column.
All right, thank you for reading,
Yes,
Brad.
you're welcome. Thank you
Hey,
for this
so
description.
we're going to talk high school football, and we're going to bring on right now our special guest, Coach Bill Oots of the Platte County Pirates. Coach, thank you, sir, for joining us. Jump up in the chair there. You're the first guest we've had that doesn't have to jump up.
That's good.
Into these tall director's chairs.
Yes.
And how about the way we've really stepped it up a notch since last year, Coach, when you were on. We did not have this banner.
I know.
I mean, this is all due to our fine advertisers like Wells Bank and Plattsburgh.
It's very impressive.
Really?
I like it.
We're trying to step it up a notch, Coach.
I can tell.
Just like you at playoff time,
That's
right? You and the Pirates step it up a notch.
That's
at playoff time,
exactly right.
Okay, so tell us. Let's kick it off a little bit. Now you started. You were 2-1, right? Because you started with 2 victories, had a loss against Kearney.
Yes.
Third week of the season.
Yes.
Let's kind of break down the season a little bit.
Yeah, we started off 2-1. We kind of break our season into thirds. So there's 9 regular season games, and so the first season we were 2-1, and then our next group we kind of wanted to be 2-1 in each one of those categories, just to kind of and know we would have a nice little run into the playoffs because we had some really tough competition. Smithville's one, who we're seeing again tomorrow is very good, and so we were kind of concerned about that one during the regular season. We have Ray Peck on the schedule, which is a Class 6 school, so we were pretty concerned about that one, and we just kind of wanted them in thirds, and you know what? Luckily, after that first loss, then we forgot about losing, so we've been winning them all.
Reeled off 8 in a row since that loss.
Yeah,
to Kearney, right?
yeah, it's been a fun year. The kids are playing well.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. You mentioned about like looking and foreseeing, where the tougher games might be. I mean, as a coach, you hear this a lot in the NFL. I mean, you don't necessarily coach your kids and your players that way, but you're planning as the coach behind the scenes, knowing what's coming up. But you're always keeping the guys focused on the game.
Absolutely.
Right?
And kind of in my role, I mean, I have great assistant coaches that do a tremendous job, and they work on the game plan and all that. And we tell the kids, one game at a time. Literally one game at a time. But it's kind of my job to look ahead a little bit and to kind of see where we're at and kind of see what that road's going to look like. It doesn't matter a lot because our competition is literally every week. Our conference is so tough that and equal, and so we don't really have any games that you can look at and be like, oh, this is going to be easy, because it just, as soon as you do that, something bad's going to happen. So we don't do that, but it is kind of nice to have that big picture and see what's there.
Yeah, and I like the idea of breaking the season into thirds and kind of looking at it in portions. That's nice. Yeah.
So after that loss to Kearney, was there anything that kicked in that allowed you to win these 8 in a row? Or was there anything that changed for you?
Well, just our kids. I think, our kids see that, it's not fun. It's not fun to lose to anybody. And it was kind of we had some things happen that game where we kind of found some weaknesses that maybe we didn't see the first 2 weeks, which is kind of when you look at those thirds, you kind of group all that together. So we found some weaknesses. We really didn't change a lot. We just kind of rearranged some pieces, and it's done well. And and the kids have bought into what we're doing. And as long as they're doing that, giving effort, giving and having a great attitude, then good things are going to happen.
Now, you mentioned your coaching staff. Let's start talking a little bit about that. How many assistants do you have, and what are the assignments for each one of them?
So I have 9 assistants, me and 9 others. Again, I kind of, like I said, I kind of oversee the thing. To be honest with you, the best thing I can do is sometimes get out of the way and let those guys work, and they're tremendous. I've got on the defensive side, I have Coach Mitchell, who's been with me since I started here in 2008, but I've known him since we were little kids, so there's a great trust level there. And then we have Derek Yost, Taylor Smith, Jason Gamble, and Todd Jarris, who are all filling that defensive staff, and they kind of work as one unit. And we try to have kids only play on offense or defense, and then we fill up our special teams with starters as well. So we try to make that a very solid group on special teams as well. And then Coach Yost also does a lot of special team stuff. And then on the offensive side, Coach Humberg is the offensive coordinator. Coach Humberg is a guy that I went to college with. Actually, was a college roommate, so I've known him for 20, whatever our reunion is coming up. With Coach Seifert, Coach Baskerville, and Coach Parrish, and of course they all coach individual groups. Coach Seifert also does a lot of the special teams. But it's a really good group of men. And what's weird is, as I said, I grew up with Coach Mitchell. Coach Humberg is from Florida. I've got a coach from Detroit. I've got a coach from California. I've got a couple coaches from Platte City. And so it's just a really nice mix of a lot of great personalities, and it seems to work. And so I know I'm biased, but they're the best coaching staff in the state at any level. They do an excellent job.
Mm-hmm. Now, does the offensive coordinator call the plays, or do you do that yourself?
No, he does that. He and Coach Seifert and Coach Humber kind of work together. We kind of divide the run game, the pass game up a little bit. A lot of times when I try to call a play, all of a sudden our headsets don't seem to work. I can't hear you. There's a short, and so I learned that really wasn't a thing. So I just shut up a little bit.
I love it. That's great. Well,
true.
You said something that I think is really, really important to touch on, because it's something that I firmly believe in. It's not just true in high school sports. It's true in the NFL and politics and business. People a lot of times get leadership confused with running the show. And I think what you said at the top about how sometimes the best thing you can do is get out of the way. Obviously, to be a good leader, you have to know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and how to delegate and how to get out of the way.
And I have guys that understand that too, to where they understand that that's their job. They know, and they have a lot of pride and ownership in that. And so by me seeing that, I know that the job's getting done.
Right.
And so it makes it a lot easier for me to do.
That's
absolutely.
Great. Yeah.
kick us a commercial, Brad. We got all of these. to
I
get
can
into
do that. Our friends at Platte Valley Dental Care are also sponsoring tonight. Dr. Stacy and Dr. Trent Blaha at Platte Valley Dental Care will treat you like family because they are. It's a mother-son dental team educating their patients on the importance of dental health and how it affects the rest of your body. The office accepts many insurance plans and offers an in-house discount plan to make dental procedures affordable to all. Their professional team will be helpful and compassionate through your dental procedures. Check out their online scheduling at pvdentalcare.com. That's 816-858-2027.
Oh,
yes.
we're gonna have to get bigger letters or
No,
get you
it's
a pair of
fine.
glasses. One of
It's
the two.
fine. I just want to make sure I hit that last number right. That's all.
Thanks for being my offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm here for you. I'm calling the plays. What's that? What's that?
Don't screw it up. All right, so the 2-1 start, you reel off 8 in a row. One of those wins, you played Smithville, right? And
Yeah.
they jump out to a 27-0
Yeah.
lead on you guys.
Yeah.
What happened there?
It was crazy. The whole night was kind of just weird. It's 21-0 at halftime. They come out and score again, and this game again is so much on matchups, and it's so much on momentum. We just felt like we were close. We couldn't get anything quite going. We had a great kickoff return after their final score, and got some great field position. It was a big, nice, hard run, and got us a little bit of momentum. We hit a pass that was kind of we fumbled the snap. The ball tipped up in the air, and we came down with it somehow, and it was just the spark, and so that got us kind of going, and just as we weren't playing very well in the first half, they didn't play very well in the second half, and we just kind of traded halves, and again, it comes down to one extra point, so special teams are important. They missed one, we made ours, and we got out of there quick before anything more time was on the clock.
That's pretty awesome. So it was 27-0 at the half, is that right?
It was 21. Yeah,
And they scored
scored.
again.
They scored
you said
again.
it was-
Yeah, so
Wow.
we didn't score until about 9 minutes into the third.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a come. You don't
Yeah,
see that
it's
very
fun.
often in high school
No,
football. do
no,
you?
it
You get
was-
down 27-0, usually it's over, right?
Yeah, we were like I said, we got on the bus and got out of there pretty quick before anything's changed.
That's awesome. So tell us about your special teams. It sounds like you've got a pretty effective
We
special
do,
team.
and we put a lot of time into it. And we found when we came into the Suburban that in order to be successful, you have to put time in special teams. And so we put a lot of effort into it. We practice it every day, a lot of time every day. Again, we try to go with kids on offense or defense, and then a special team. So we feel like we have really strong special teams that way. We give them a lot of pride. We call them the Punishers. There's a a Punisher with a pirate eye patch, and we give a lot of attention to those kind of kids or the special teams kids. Because it is such a weapon. Bryce Bertram's a wide receiver for us, also plays some defense. Great kick returner. He returned one for a touchdown last week. We've had a solid punt game. Our kicker, Grant Allen, is also a soccer player, and so he's been fighting the double schedule here for a while, but he's been a nice addition for us. It's just it's fun, and we put a lot, like I said, we put a lot of pride into it. We make a big deal when people make plays, and it just kind of builds off of it.
You have a history of having some pretty good kickers there for
Yeah,
you.
we do. We've been spoiled.
Yeah.
We've been really spoiled. Parker Lucina we had last year for 4 years. He's kicking at Missouri State, so to go down and win the job as a true freshman,
Awesome.
I was pretty spoiled. So he was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. In high school football too. I mean, that's one thing. And this nobody's playing both ways for you, right? You're saying
Very few.
Very few.
Like Bryce, as I mentioned, he does a little bit sparingly. We're lucky enough none of our linemen have to, so that keeps them fresh. Very, very sparingly. We try to keep that. We try to keep it separate.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now you've got Smithville coming up in the rematch
Yeah.
Friday night. We're filming this. If you're not watching it live, okay, we're filming this on Thursday night, and the big game is Friday night. Smithville comes to town for the rematch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now give us. We don't want you to give away the scouting report. but tell us, is there anything you're doing in preparation, because the weather's kind of nasty out there tonight?
Sure.
Does the weather affect your preparation or your planning going into Friday night's game?
Well, I spend a lot of time watching the weather, probably too much. So yes, I'm watching the weather. Wind. We don't want wind. I don't think any team wants wind. But we especially don't. The cold the cold is a challenge because we're not used to it, and it's not and as cold as it is supposed to be, we haven't had any practices in it. You know, like if you get if we get an opportunity to practice in rain, we go practice in rain. So if we have a game in rain, we're good. But the way our football season works is, cold like this just all of a sudden shows up. So
Right.
so it's going to be a challenge. We had a cold game last year at Moberly, and a really, really cold, frigid game. So we're a little prepared that way. We got some space heaters on the sideline. We got the hand warmers. With the technology now, you got good gloves and all that stuff. So we'll do all that stuff, and we'll try to keep everybody's hands warm and just go play.
I thought it was good football weather, but when I mentioned that to the coach when he arrived here at the Center tonight, he said, "No, too cold.
Yeah.
Too cold. That's not good football weather for the coach."
That's
what he
right.
said.
That's right. Everybody else is fine. I get cold though.
Right. That's great.
That's awesome. So the wind is the big thing that you're worried about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you guys explained. You told me you have a balanced offense.
We try to, yeah. But just wind is difficult, I feel, because especially if it's with the field, because you're going to have a half with it, you're going to have half away from it.
Right.
Time can, if you get a team that has the wind in their face and they're able to hold the ball for a long time, you just lost all your wind. So it comes into a big strategy of when you do things and how you do it, and it makes it a lot more difficult, just game planning wise. A crosswind, both teams deal with it and you move on. And ultimately, weather's weather. You go out and you play, and it's not an excuse. You just go play.
Mm-hmm. And a rematch game is like kind of the best and worst of both worlds, to where you guys know them, but they know you.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And again, the football is a game of chess. I mean, it really is on how we do things, and we saw how they prepared for us. Now, are they going to continue to prepare for us?
Right.
Or are they going to change something?
Right.
Is everybody healthy that was before? So there's so many factors that come into it. And yes, we've played them, but gosh, you throw all that stuff out the window. It's the playoffs. You just go play.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs. 10-1. Two 10-1 teams colliding.
Yeah.
Friday night in Platte City at Pirate Stadium. You guys. Brad, do you have your tickets? Are you going? It's too cold for you. I mean, you're going to watch it on the internet.
I can watch it on the internet, right? Because much like Coach, I don't like it cold either.
And you're a great coach from the couch, because I read Twitter. You're always coaching the Cowboys.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do. In fact, I have just about left one Cowboy drive. I mean, I've lived here for 20 years. I like the Chiefs a lot too. The Cowboys are disappointing. And I think I help Andy Reid from Twitter, actually.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's probably reading your Twitter.
Right, exactly. Actually, which reminds me, I got a quick question for Coach about that. Do you remember when Gunther Cunningham was head coach?
Sure.
I'm just curious to know if you needed a chart to tell you when to go for two.
We have one.
Okay,
No,
I figured you
we
probably
absolutely
did.
do.
Because
Yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of that has to do with you've got so much going on while
Sure.
you're coaching a game.
Sure.
You don't have time to
It makes you test your math skills.
Yeah, I
You
can
know?
imagine. I can imagine.
Multiples of 6 and 7. All
Right,
of a sudden.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, you do. That's part of being prepared.
Right.
You have that chart to say, okay, when you're up by this or when you're down by this, when it's suggested.
Right.
There's times when you do and there's times when you don't. The Ray Peck game, we had an opportunity to go for 2 to win the game. Could have kicked it and tied it and gone to overtime. We decided to go for 2. It worked. It was great.
Awesome. Yeah.
If it didn't work,
Right.
I'm
know.
probably not in this interview.
Right, that's true. Right.
So it's one of those. Sometimes you just go with your gut.
Right.
Yeah.
And I should clarify the question. Have you ever read the chart wrong? Because that's what actually happened with Gunther.
Oh no,
That was it was like a post game. I remember it so well. Post game press conference. They're like, Gunther, why did you go for 2?
Yeah.
Oh, we read the chart wrong.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah. So
No, we don't read the chart.
No,
we
that's a
we
no-no.
double check.
That's why you've got the chart.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Gunther also would sniff smelling salts. Right?
Yes.
Do you do that? Have you done any of that?
I know. I've not done that. I don't have the yellow glasses.
No.
No. Not
Brad
yet.
will sometimes sniff smelling salts before the show.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. Because this guy bores me too.
You're fired.
Just kidding. Okay.
Okay, so after the let's say you get a victory against Smithville, and
Sure.
So who's waiting for you? It's the winner of Harrisonville and Warrensburg.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct? All
Yes.
right, and that game would be when?
It will be next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
All right,
So
awesome.
it's if it's Warrensburg, it gets to be here. If it's Harrisonville, we go to Harrisonville.
Now, what's that based on?
It's all based on the bracket with the state, and it goes into if you've hosted more games or if you have, like for instance, Harrisonville isn't the home team against Warrensburg, so they would get the home game. It's a mess. I could go into it, but it still won't make sense.
Gotcha.
There's a chart for that.
There's a chart for that too.
Right.
Is there anybody on the coaching staff that you have looking ahead and looking at film of the Harrisonville-Warrensburg?
No.
You don't even start that until you know that you're going there.
No, we haven't even. No, we haven't even. This,
You don't
this game,
have,
this
you don't have
game's
that
taken-
many guys.
No, and this game's taken plenty of our time. There's no doubt.
Gotcha. That's the right answer, even if
No,
it's,
it's
even
the
if you're
true
not
answer. It is the answer.
I get it.
Give us another Wells Bank commercial.
I can do that. That's those guys right
Yep,
there,
that's
right?
our friends
Yes.
at Wells Bank.
Okay, yes. Are you looking for a bank that rewards you? Well, Wells Bank has accounts that fit your needs. Wells Bank offers accounts that have no minimum balance requirement and e-statements for convenience. As a Wells Bank customer, you will enjoy a free debit card, online and mobile banking, and bill pay. If eligible, Wells Bank will even reward you with cash back for using your debit card. Wells Bank will help make your switch simple and easy, much like our products and services. Visit Wells Bank, located at 1100 Branch Street today. Wells Bank, member FDIC. Thank you, Wells Bank.
Yes, thank you, Wells Bank. Melissa at Wells Bank lined that up
yes.
for us. Thanks, Melissa.
Yes.
Coach, let's talk about this. Now, how has practice changed? How many years you been doing this?
22 as a coach.
Okay, there's been a lot of talk about head injuries in the sport of football. How has that changed practice time at the high school level?
It's changed a lot, yeah. And you know, one of the reasons that we like to go, I mean, there's a whole slew of reasons why we like to go offense and defense. But one of the reasons that it benefits us is we can shorten practice, because the offense goes to practice, defense goes to practice, and we're done. You know, so that helps. The contact in practice, the physical contact is minimal. I think we've had one practice where we've actually worn full pads. You know,
Really?
So we'll wear shorts and girdle, you know, like protect our thighs and hips and stuff. But we stay off the ground. We don't like to be on the ground, because that's where a lot of the injuries take place. And then that of course takes away from your head injuries as well. Now, so that's one part of it. The other thing we've done is tackling technique has changed. We've gone to like a roll tackle instead of I remember being taught, you know, you put your face right in there in the chest and you go through it.
Right.
You know, it's all shoulder tackle. You know, we teach all of that. There's rules now that protect, you know, that don't allow that in a game. So that's made strides. You know, and then so there's those rules. There's the way we do it, and then there's the technology with it as well. If a kid gets diagnosed with a concussion or suffers a head injury, they have to go through a battery of tests before they're even remotely allowed back in a helmet, which is total safety. And we have come in the last, like I said, 22 years as a head coach, or 22 years coaching, but just in the last 5, it has just gone through the roof of what we've been able to do and improve, because there's so much emphasis on it, which is good. I mean, you know, it's great, and it's safer. It's been good. I think at all levels, from the professional all the way down, we see a complete change, and it's because we put effort into it, and it's not just the coaches that put effort into it, the players, the doctors, everybody, and it's really become a safe game.
Have you noticed any numbers difference with all the emphasis on safety and a lot of parents being worried about injuries with their kids? Has it affected numbers as far as the number of guys that come out for the sport?
A little bit. Our team has relatively stayed the same size the last 5 or 6 years, but our school has grown. So I always like to say that I wanted 10% of the population out, just as a rule of thumb. And so we've come off that a little bit because, like I said, the population's grown. Our team stayed about the same size. So we've lost a few. I think it's more for whatever reason. I don't know why, but we have so many other opportunities for kids too. You know, our soccer team, Coach Brantley does a great job with their soccer team. As I've seen us stay about the same, I've seen her kids grow like crazy because of more interest, and she does a great job with it. So you're taking some kids that way. We have cross country as well. We just have, the band's great. I mean, you're just pulling kids in so many different directions that being in a great school like Platte County is a blessing, but when you have so many other great programs, we're pulling kids all over the place, which is great. We have very few kids that aren't involved in something. So some of that, I think some of it's that as well. You see some youth numbers slowing down, not as many. So eventually that's going to we're going to kind of feel that. I know our youth league, we did some work with our youth league this past summer. Their numbers are up a little bit, which is a great sign. So again, the safety side of it and the promotion of it, I think that's helping things.
Very cool. Now, Brad, when you were in school,
Yeah.
there wasn't much say. I mean, they wore leather helmets.
Leather helmets, yeah.
That's,
It was funny listening to him though talk about practice nowadays versus the way it was, when we were in school, 30 years ago or whatever. Certainly sounds different. And I think what's also interesting to note is, as you described the lengths that you're going to be safe. I think that over time you're going to see that continue to. If all high schools in the country try to work on it as well, you're going to see that finally translate into the higher levels of the game.
Yeah.
I think right now it's pretty frustrating for the professional players because they've asked them to change what they've done all their life.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping and guessing that if everybody treats it like you guys do, that there'll be a change down the road.
Yeah, there's definitely some rules, and professional college and high school all have the same rules yet different.
Right.
I mean, some of them are a little bit different.
Sure.
Our quarterbacks aren't protected even close to what the NFL is. So there's some extremes.
Sure.
All the way around. But it funnels through.
Sure.
And I definitely think we'll see that.
take us through a typical week during the course of a season, as far as practice time. What do you do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so forth? Just
Well, so we'll start with Friday.
Okay.
So Friday after the game, we immediately, as coaches, will break the film down. We'll watch that film. We'll put that week to bed, if you will. We then, on Saturday or Sunday, well, Saturday at some point, again, the use of technology is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So we can watch film at home. We can watch film. We don't have to watch it all in an old VCR tape on a TV anymore.
Right.
And have to come in to do that. Right. So we can share all that around. I'm big with family, so I want my coaches to go be with their family by all costs. They all have young families, and so except Coach Mitchell, he's the oddball out. He's got older kids, but everybody else has young kids, and so we want them to do that. But then usually on Sunday we'll come in at some point, depending on if it works, if it works with your schedule and your church schedule and so forth. Just kind of go over a plan on how we're going to attack them. And it gives us an opportunity to say, okay, they're really good on offense, they're really good on defense. How are we going to do this? Where do we need to take it? Where do we need to take advantage of things? Where do we need to, put the brakes on? And get all that. We go through our where we're practicing, because we have our game field, of course, our turf field, and then we have a grass field as well. When we're sharing it with soccer, we have to, you go over all the schedule stuff.
Yeah,
that's more. I could go into all this detail. You don't need to do it. So we go over all that, and then Monday, there's a JV game. So half the coaches will go to the JV game with the JV team, and so the freshmen and the varsity will stay back, and we'll put our initial scout game in for the team we just watched film on, and we'll get some conditioning, kind of get your body loosened up and so forth. Tuesday and Wednesday are good work days. We go over all our special teams and spend time on our special teams. And we really polish that game plan up and make sure that it's good. We'll have, during this time also, we have meetings every day as well. So we'll have meetings with the players or a personnel group, and then have a practice. Thursday is kind of the final polished pregame. Go over all our special teams, make sure those charts are right, make sure all that's, everybody knows what to do, and then we'll go over. We usually have a character / life lesson type thing that kind of goes into some details of to just help our kids,
Right.
or try to help our kids. Some of it we've gone as, and I'm sure they probably thought it was corny, but as I actually told them today, if what you've learned is, if anything we taught you in the last, this season or on these Thursdays is you can use immediately, great. If you can use it 5 years ago or 5 years down the road, even better. So, just different things and how we kind of see things and kind of make it real, because I think we're in a point where, our kids know what character is. Our kids know what integrity is. Our kids know, what those kind of things are, because we try to live them. We try to show them all the time. But, it's the little stuff of, when do you shut your cell phone off? When do you, what are the dangers out there when you get out in the real world? All the things that you can just imagine. Spectrum's wide. So, and we try to do that. We've done, actually probably not as much as I wanted to going into it. I had a little bit longer plan on some of that, but a lot of it's just making sure you enjoy the moment. Today was a big lesson on, you're in the playoffs. You don't want to be that guy that had an opportunity and didn't take it. And I think that goes to life. So you're looking at it and you're man, I should have taken that job. Well, you didn't. So you're gonna have to live with it or react to it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just put a big emphasis on, you just don't want to be that guy.
I like what you're saying there, because a smart coach that I talked to one time said he told his guys, don't be afraid to win.
Yeah.
Most of the time we think of, well, we don't want to lose, don't be afraid
Right.
to lose. He always told his guys, don't be afraid to win.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're saying there.
And that's the thing. That
embrace
is
the moment, take advantage of the moment.
It is
right?
it is a true thing. If
Yeah.
you play not to lose, you're going to. I mean, that's just kind of the way we've always done things, and it's true.
Yeah.
There's so much into it mentally, so much into it momentum that and so. That I'm getting off track with this. So that's what we do on Thursdays. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
So I could go on that lesson for a while too, but so we do that on Thursdays. Our parents are great. They've tonight they had a meal. Had a meal waiting on them. We've done that probably. I mean, it's turned out to be, again, unscheduled things. It's just like, hey, we want to do this, and it's part of being in a great community with great parents, and they so we've probably had a meal more than half the time, probably 2/3 of the time on a Thursday. And then the coaches, I try to get them out the door and get them home again. And then come in Friday and we put it all together. Yeah. So that's
awesome.
That's it in a nutshell.
That's
yeah.
a nice little educational piece right there. We appreciate you bringing that. No, really, it's interesting. I find that interesting. Hey, you guys, if you're just tuning in, we are Landmark Live. It's a production of the Platte County Landmark newspaper. I'm Ivan Foley. This is Brad Carl. We are visiting with Bill Oots, head coach of the Platte County Pirates. They are headed in to a district championship game against Smithville Friday night here in Platte City. Brad, hey, give us a Platte Valley Dental Care read.
I will, right now. Call 816-858-2027 to schedule your family's appointment with Dr. Stacy and Dr. Trent Blaha at Platte Valley Dental Care. They'll treat you like family because they are family. They educate their patients on the importance of dental health and how it affects the rest of your body, offering the highest possible care to children and adults. Check out their online scheduling at pvdentalcare.com.
Brad Carl, the voice of an angel right there. His voice is licensed and insured.
That is true. Remember FDIC. Oh, wait, that didn't sound right. Never mind. Yes, I am.
You actually do, just to bring the folks up to date here, you do some voiceover work.
I do, and it was good work for me for a while until I realized that I had to deal with people.
Yeah, you don't like people?
I don't really like people that much. So once that happened, I was like,
what a guy.
No, I do. I used to be in radio. I used to be like,
well, you didn't have to see anybody when you're on the radio.
Right, you just go into the production room and just start talking.
It's just you in a box and a microphone.
It was great. It was fantastic. I do sometimes find it hard to believe that I was once paid just to play music, for 4 or 5 hours.
I actually find it hard to believe they paid you to talk.
Exactly.
Actually,
I know.
Isn't that hard?
I do. Well, because I do it a lot. I can do it really well.
That's why your wife doesn't let you talk anymore.
That's true. That's why I come here and talk a lot.
She sends you to the basement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Coach, off season now, you get your guys in the weight room?
Oh yeah.